Welcome to Lessons for Life. It's the middle of the week, so we're doing a live stream. Anything goes. If you would like to join us, just click on the link. I've got Mac with me, and he thinks that the American election outcome has already been decided. What makes you think that, Mac, you skeptic?
Well, I believe it's because, it's the elites, isn't it? They're the ones that decide who is obviously going to be selected next. Now, I don't know. If Trump is re-elected, then it doesn't matter if he chooses the Supreme Court justice or person now or when he's elected. So it really wouldn't make a difference in that sense. But what's your take on it?
RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, her dying wish when she passed away at 87 years old was that she would be replaced after the next election. Being a good old liberal, she's obviously hoping that the Democrats would win, that sleepy Joe Biden would be the president, and he would choose a suitable replacement for her, i.e. another liberal, to be one of the 9 on the Supreme Court. I believe they have 9. But as you point out, if Trump wins, it doesn't matter whether he appoints the replacement now or then. But if the election is just a foregone conclusion and it's whoever the elites behind the scenes want to choose, why would both sides of the political spectrum spend so much time and money and effort trying to gain votes and lobby
the showboating? Well,
you think it's all just a pantomime?
I mean, to be honest with you, to become president, I think you need. I mean, Donald Trump had a roast. I don't know if you know about it. He even went on to Alex Jones' show. So you see what I mean? He actually made himself quite popular in that sense. Already, before he did all of these, if you go back to the 90s and listen to rap music, they always say, we want to be as rich as Trump. Or they, in their lyrics, somehow they try to quote to say, look. So they always see Trump as a businessman. So he was always cameoing in certain shows, but being himself as like a successful businessman.
I think we always knew that Trump was rich. I don't think he's as rich as he claims to be. I don't think anyone, apart from The Simpsons, predicted that Donald Trump would be the president. I don't think it was part of the script. No, it's not the only one. In the chat, I want to say hi to PK, evening, sir, and also our friend Overkill. There's been a lot of spooky coincidences on The Simpsons, but if you're churning out 5 episodes a week for 30 years, I'm sure you're going to get something right, no?
That's it. Family Guy. You know, the episode where there's one episode, I don't know if any of you or your viewers have seen it, but it's one episode where Robbie Williams, remember the actor?
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, sorry. Yeah. Basically, he committed suicide in a hotel, apparently, is what happened. And while we were watching it on TV as a parody, it was occurring in reality at the same time. Yeah. So they were broadcasting that episode on that day, and then the next day it was his. It was weird. It was kind of I can't explain it, but if people know about it, they would have realized that, because it's not only me. There's a few other sources that have pointed this out as well. They've realized that
it's a case of life imitating art, but throughout the year,
prediction. That's just the next level prediction. That's prophecy.
Is it though, or is it just the case? And good evening, Hassan Radwan. He will be able to explain this better than most people. How is it that programs like The Simpsons and Family Guy seemingly predict events from the near future, when really it would be more of a coincidence if there were no coincidences. There are now thousands of TV channels, hundreds of people, celebrities even dying throughout the year. There's going to be at some point when you'll hit, if you keep rolling the dice, you're bound to roll a 6 eventually. I was teaching in a school early in the year in January, and when Kobe Bryant passed away in the tragic helicopter crash, a young girl, I think in year 9, said, "See, I knew that a celebrity was going to die in 2020," and she had a really sort of freakish reaction to it, like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I predicted the future." But these things are actually more likely. When it happens, you think, "My goodness, how could that be so on the button?" But when you think of the infinite number of things that could happen, one of them is bound to be correct. And we got some chats coming in. Go on, Mac.
Just to say, I sent you a link. I don't know if you were able to look at it, but it's an article from, as you lot can see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it says Queen. Oh, I hate these pop-ups. Yeah.
This is about the Queen abdicating or not being quite so royal anymore. Queen told to renounce royal title immediately, as writings on the wall over monarchy's demise. Yeah, we're all a bit fed up of.
No, but you don't understand. There's a
the
program called on YouTube, "The Man Who Shouldn't Be King."
Mm-hmm.
If you read this bit, yeah, it's about Prince Charles, obviously.
I feel like I'm at the opticians at the moment.
No, but sorry. Yeah,
well.
basically, right. There's a program on YouTube specifically about the monarchy, and they're saying the man who shouldn't be king, meaning
referring to
Prince
His Royal
Charles.
Highness Sir Prince Charles.
Yeah, which I don't see a problem with monarchy. I mean, even when Iran had a Shah, I didn't mind it. You see what I mean?
You loved it when Iran had a Shah.
Well, I even love it when we have a queen. I mean, to have a monarchy system, it's amazing sometimes seeing the royal family weddings, and you see what I mean?
You'll have all that, the pomp and ceremony.
Well,
it's tradition.
It's tradition, and it's amazing.
It doesn't bother you that they're friends with the likes of Jimmy Savile and Jeffrey Epstein?
See, yeah, well, this is where we're creeping onto whether it's conspiracy or speculations. But I mean, yeah, he's got his own island, and they were trafficking young girls and stuff to his island. Okay, fair enough. But we didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. I mean, at the end of the day,
we didn't. But if the royal family keep hanging around with these untoward characters, that says something about who they are, doesn't it? And your friends are a reflection of you.
Exactly. As Imam Ali would say, in order for me to know who you are, show me who your friends are.
Mm-hmm. Although Jesus did befriend a lot of unsavory characters, I think because he was trying to be a good role model for them, maybe change their life.
Even the Prophet. I mean, there are certain Muslims that are very strict. They're like, oh, because that place might have alcohol, I won't go there, and But what they don't realize is, like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had an uncle called Uncle Lahab. Yeah, this uncle used to drink alcohol, but he still would go to his house, and he'd have that friendly. He wouldn't say, "Oh, I wouldn't drink from your dish because you drank alcohol." He'd clean it, obviously, but the impression is you can't be. I'm disgusted. If you want to invite someone to the religion, you'd have to do it in a nice way. And even if you go to their house, you'd have to go with an open mind.
And Jesus befriended Mary Magdalene and possibly even married her. We don't know.
Yeah. So I mean,
to,
the point is, in order to change those people, you need to be around them and get them to see differently.
if I can change and you can change, everybody can change.
Change is not always welcomed as easily. Basically, people don't like change. I don't know. It's not. It's just human nature within us that we just. I don't know. We fear changing or the changes that.
What do you think the change will be like when we get the next monarch? If it's going to be Charles, what will he be? Charles the Third? Charles the Second? How many Charleses have we had?
In my
Or will
opinion,
it skip a generation and go straight to William?
I mean, if it's a voting system, like obviously, yeah, William probably have more supporters.
Well, it's not a voting system, is it? It's a. Do you mean he would be the more popular choice?
More popular choice. I mean, sorry, yeah. But saying that, I don't think. I mean, in theory, like we said, we were talking earlier that the Queen can pack Parliament up if she wants to, but it seems the other way around. Like it seems because I believe, like I said, when Queen Elizabeth's father passed away, obviously the first thing that Churchill did was crown her, and it was his idea, his movement. So if it wasn't for his say or the Prime Minister's say, then she wouldn't really be in that position.
She was the next in line.
Yeah,
Winston Churchill was just following protocol, right?
Yeah.
Just like Boris Johnson has to go to Her Majesty to open a new parliament, and she says, yes, of course you can. But there's never any question of the Queen saying, no, I'm going to overrule you, although technically on paper she could. Have you heard theories that Prince William is the Antichrist? That's a popular one. William. I don't know why people got that idea. No. There are theories that Prince William is the Antichrist. The other theory doing the rounds is that Donald Trump's friend is the Antichrist.
Are you talking about?
I don't know.
Kushner.
I believe, yeah, that's what some people say. But who knows? Maybe there have been many false
He's the chosen Christs.
He's the chosen one.
From the Israeli point of view, he's the Messiah. He's an anointed one.
Is he?
I don't know if that's the case, because he's the one. You can say out of how many years has Israel had trouble in that region, and after all these years, they managed to strike a deal with the first Arab country, UAE, and things have changed. So it seems like, just like they say, it's going to seem like false peace is happening, but it's not, and that's when the reappearance of Christ should come. But until then, the Antichrist has got to make out as if he is the one that's creating the peace in the region and so forth and so on. So I don't know. Does that make sense, or what was that?
Yeah, no, it does make sense. False Christ. I mean, but there's been many people that might have been candidates for that title. Surely, I think some people thought that Napoleon was the Antichrist. Every era has its villain, doesn't it?
Or even Hitler, they say it was Antichrist as well. I've heard that as well. So yeah, I mean, it depends on. I mean, going back to this day and age, whether or Trump wins or not. I mean, it's all an act, in my opinion. So the reason why he's able to win, I mean, Kanye West wants to try. You see what I'm saying? Get involved in being elected. I mean,
I've heard that Kanye West is mentally unstable at the moment, so maybe he'd be a perfect candidate for the presidency.
When people from in America, apparently they do MK Ultra. So when he gets hospitalized, they kind of MK Ultra him. They kind of mind control him.
Mind control. PK is saying the Antichrist would never be a ginger. Fair enough. That rules out Prince
I
Harry,
swear,
at least.
I swear the Antichrist is meant to come back and make your was it parents appear, or your dead parents appear, and he's able to do some miracles. Is it?
I have heard things like that, but for example, he will show you your father, and your father will say, "Don't you remember me?" But it's really a false apparition, and he's tricking you.
Yeah, a different entity or something. That's
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, nowadays, like I said, Dynamo, he's a magician. He's tried the fishes. Well, he bought tons of fish out of an empty bucket. He was just pouring it out. But obviously, it could
you think Dynamo might be the Antichrist?
You know what? He's put on weight. He's got an illness. He's got a sickness, which is why he's been quiet for a while. But I mean, to do this kind of things, apparently, I've heard to do that, you got to sell your soul to the devil, isn't it? That's how it works.
Well, I don't know about that. There are many ways to deceive people.
Well, who's that famous magician? What's his name?
Paul Daniels.
No, not Paul Daniels. The other one, American one.
David Copperfield.
Okay, so all of his, if you watch his magic shows, all the ambience that he has is a very gothic ambience, if you see what I mean. Why is that?
Okay. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I can't.
Because it makes it entertaining?
I guess so.
Because it adds to the mystique. Is conveniently having a very dark room the ideal place to do magic tricks if you're hiding a rabbit up your sleeve or whatever they do?
in a gothic environment, does it need to be like do you see what I mean? It's always a scary scene, or it's always and he always talks in a negative way. I have the spirits helping me, and listen to David Copperfield. You'd be surprised if you actually pay attention to what he's saying. It's like, wait a minute, what are you trying to say? You got some hidden magics, like unseen, like powers that we can't. Like this, I think the way
David Copperfield has worked his magic and fooled you into believing that he delves in the unknown or the supernatural.
These are people all been trained by Aleister Crowley. So.
Have they all been trained by Aleister Crowley, or they've read his book, or?
I think it's the fundamental basis of Hollywood.
Now, Aleister Crowley was a theosophist. Is that correct?
He actually, him and his friend started the religion Wiccans.
So people that follow Wiccan are claiming to be some kind of white witch, aren't they, or following the ancient pagan beliefs of the British Isles. But theosophy was some kind of theistic movement, possibly. They certainly dabble in the occult. We'd have to get some more detail on that.
There was also a report mentioning cults about the Scientology. What's his name? The Mission Impossible guy. I forgot. Tom Cruise.
Oh, Tom Cruise.
There were some headlines about Tom Cruise and his initiate.
What religion is he? Scientology. Okay.
That's
I've been to the headquarters of Scientology in London.
Oh, is it? They go on here?
Yeah. They have a centre, and I was there with my camera filming for another chat for Dardasha, and we interviewed a Yemeni artist who had his artwork on display in the Scientology Centre in London. Wow. I didn't know when I arrived at the venue that it would be the Scientology Centre, and they are notoriously skeptical or concerned about having cameras following them around. You've probably seen the documentary where the guy reacted really angrily.
Bro,
So yeah,
we're in a state.
that
We're
was
in a day and
interesting.
age where there's cameras everywhere. If not on road, people have it. So it's a day and age. If you're gonna try and say, "Oh, I don't want your information with your phone carries all of that." You already give up your information on Facebook, and you give your information up and all your details. So they can do facial recognition easily because they got all your pictures on Facebook and on Instagram, haven't they?
But that's the thing, and this hasn't stopped people from being very reluctant to be interviewed on camera, even though they're being filmed on several cameras, probably at the same time.
Yeah, but I mean, the people that are too
But what
paranoid.
happened with Tom? What happened with Tom Cruise? What was it saying about Tom Cruise?
Well, there's something going on with the Scientology business. I can't remember exactly what it was, but apparently, I mean, there's a couple of issues with Scientology as well. There's the other actress who used to be part of it, and she's I think of the names just don't come to mind. Sorry.
Well, his wife.
No. There was another actress, famous. She's from what's that program called? I can't even remember. Something.
Baywatch.
No, I wish.
No?
But basically, there's a few Scientology people that are that used because you give money. Apparently, you have to give money to, and then to get to the high ranks, it takes a long time, and you got to go through a lot of rituals.
And all of this was based on a fictional book by L. Ron Hubbard, who never intended it to be any kind of religion, no?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But I mean, they're
strange.
entitled to make. I mean, it's freedom of speech and freedom of religion, isn't it? They can practice what they want. So even with the Bohemian Grove thing, I mean, you know about that, right?
Yeah, I know Alex Jones rocks up there every year at their convention, the Bohemian Grove. I have to say that if Alex Jones is trying to expose it, it's probably nothing.
But there's pictures of presidential people and like really important, like there's photographs of.
If they were that important and that lethal, would we know about them?
It's lack of.
Is Jeff Bezos really the richest man in the world?
He is now.
Or are the richest people rich enough to be anonymous? I don't know. I could be way off.
No, I mean Paris Hilton. We knew she became famous because of Hilton hotels.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I mean, even well, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people that you can still get. So yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Well, I'll just remind everybody that if you want to join in this discussion and join us in the chat and get through to Mac, you can just click on the link in the description and you'll be chatting to us and you'll feel like you've spoken to a celebrity, someone famous on the internet. Safe Clark is in the chat. What was your dad saying? Oh, he was famous, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, in Iran. He used to make films and stuff like that. So, yeah.
What would be his best film, if you don't mind telling us?
Well, it's all Farsi films. He's got Pashmalu. He's done one with Behruz Fuzz. Well, these are famous actors as well. But,
and were they
I'll give you the name
movies?
of the films.
Are they? What
one's
genre?
called Sazesh.
What does that mean?
That means you kind of Sazesh means you play a role. You're playing a role.
Sazesh. Okay.
Yeah, playing a role.
So your dad directed that film? He was a film director.
Yeah. Then Palak, he did actual makeup because he used to do makeup as well. So my dad was a makeup artist. He was a director as well as roles as well. So you can see him in. So And
this was in the days back in Iran when women could be on TV without covering their hair and all that sort of thing.
There's pictures. Yeah, there's films of him with women in like they call it cabaret, which is a discotheque kind of thing. And it's like when Iran became an Islamic country, obviously my dad had created non-Islamic films, so they were against him. So that's where we had to. I mean, even apparently they were writing on our wall, Savakis.
Okay. And Savak is the Shah's secret police. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, every
yeah.
like every empire has their own secret. I mean, Her Majesty's Secret Services.
Yeah, no, I know. We're just giving a little bit of
of course.
Persian history here.
Yeah,
and the Savak. And what does Savak mean? Does it mean intelligence or what? Literally.
You know what? I'm actually not sure about that. Usually, if I do know, I'd say I know, but sorry, I don't.
It's not a word you couldn't get the meaning from. Could you put it in a sentence in Farsi?
We don't use it regularly for me to understand. Like we just call them. Well, they don't use it even when you go to Iran. Now they say komite. They don't say Savak. They say komite.
What do they say? Komite.
Komite.
As in committee.
Komite? No. As in like police.
Police. Okay.
But
I just wonder what the origin of the word is.
Yeah, it sounds like komite, but yeah, but it's not komite. Yeah.
Because I know Persian is an Indo-European language, of course.
Of course.
Right? And related to the likes of Spanish and French and Italian.
I mean, I could tell you that
distantly, but yeah. And they say merci.
There's a lot of French words. I was surprised. I did really well in French in school because when I was learning it, I realized there's like we say camion as well. Like for a truck, we say ascensor. We say
merci for
merci. Yeah, douche. We say same as douche. We say that as well.
Okay.
So there's a lot of Iranian words. You'd be surprised. You'd be like, wow, okay. So as well as French, it's also used in Farsi as well. But again, the main one, like you said, merci. That's just
merci.
Just like the French name.
Well,
merci.
In French, the word savant means clever. And we use savant to mean a very clever person. Sometimes if people are highly functioning autistic, you say he's a savant.
Shah spoke French, right?
Shah spoke French. There you go. See?
I wouldn't be surprised because he probably would have named it due to that. But he spoke English as well as I can probably. But you can.
I've heard interviews with him where he did. Yeah, he spoke.
His English was high level, university level kind of English, but even his French. So it was astonishing. That's why I think he was a good king in that sense. Having the ability.
He was a kindly king. Yeah, he only tortured a few of his political prisoners.
Well, and you know what the small world is. Apparently, he killed Khomeini's father.
Really?
And that's why when Khomeini got back,
revenge was sweet.
And Khomeini put a bounty on his head, or a fatwa.
Wow. My goodness. Savak had the power to censor the media, screen applicants for government jobs, and according to a reliable Western source, use all means necessary, including torture, to hunt down dissidents. I'm trying to work out if this
different
word...
Guantanamo Bay.
Guantanamo Bay, yeah.
How is that different with what they're doing there?
It's very similar. The only difference is Guantanamo Bay is in an occupied part of someone else's country, and the Shah had the decency to do it in his own country. And Safeguard is saying, Julian, when will you head to the park again? I don't know.
Well, maybe isn't there going to be another lockdown?
Yeah, we're all going to have to hide, guys. Everything is going to be locked down forever. Hopefully not. But yeah, the Savak did some training abroad, as we know, in a different part of the Middle East. And you thought maybe that's why Dr. Mossadegh might maybe given his name to something else.
What's that?
We don't know. In the chat, Abd GNI has written something. You will have to read it because I cannot. Can you make that out?
I can't see where.
It's an Arabic script. I don't know if it's Farsi or.
Where am I supposed to see it?
Oh, I'll put it on the screen for you. Can you see that?
It says Masa al Khair.
He's saying good evening. Masa Noor. He's saying good evening. Masa Noor. And what's he saying now?
Min when?
He's asking where am I from?
Yeah, Finland, Brittany.
نحن في لندن بس عائلتي إيرلنديين أصلي إيرلندي وأصحابي هو إيراني من بلاد الفارس من بلاد الفارس. He's from Iran. There you go. We're multilingual.
We're trying.
Oh look, you're getting some.
And to the I like to say, Jewish friends and audience, Shalom Alaikum, Naim Yod.
There you go. Naim Yod. Is that
pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. Very good. Very good. And yeah, Abdullah is saying to you, Chitori, which is how are you? That's nice. Thank you. We're a multilingual channel. Give Peace a chance of saying, why did you stop going to Speaker's Corner? Well, I think if you watch the videos from Speaker's Corner, you probably
get put off anyway.
Realize why I stopped banging my head up against the wall. You are not missing much at the park. Same old. Yeah, that's right. Are you ready to read another message?
I can't see. I can see
it's coming up. This is the thing. I can't read Arabic, but I can understand it if someone reads it to me.
Al-Maghrib.
Al-Maghrib. He's saying it. Good evening from or hello from Morocco.
Okay.
Ahlan bikum min London. That's a viewer in Morocco. Wonderful to have you with us.
Min Maghrib. Yeah, Maghrib.
Min Maghrib. Maghrib meaning the west.
West. He's in Morocco.
Mm. They say Gharb for west in Persian as well, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
This is a word found in European languages. In Portugal, the Algarve is the Algarve is the west. So this was the very western edge.
We say Gharb as well.
Yeah, there you go. Gharb and Sharq, Sharqi for Sharq for
exactly
east.
What we say.
There you go. We're learning east and west. But although you are a Indo-European speaking nation, Indo-European language, you have a lot of Arabic vocabulary made its way into the language, right?
Yep.
But I wonder, are there hardcore Persian nationalists who resent that? Because there must have been a different word for West before the Arab conquest and before Iran was Islamicized.
Okay. No? One thing I appreciate about the Shah, the Shah, even in the history, like when you go look at 300, yeah, the Iranian kings, they were never interested in a sense to take over the land. They would come up to you and they would come up to your empire and be like, you know what, you're king of your empire, but just know we're your king. Okay,
so they permitted a level of autonomy within the empire.
Yeah, so if we call out for war, you lot got to show, otherwise we'll destroy you as of now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very fair. I believe they outlawed slavery long before many other civilizations.
That was Cyrus the Great.
Yeah, Cyrus the Great. There you go.
Yeah.
Prior to Islam, yeah. So it was an
that's
ancient civilization already.
Yeah. So in that sense, when Reza Shah Pahlavi became Shah, he weren't just Shah. He was Shah Shahan. That means the king of kings.
Shahan or Jahan?
Shahan.
Shahan. So king of kings.
Yeah. King
of kings and Lord of lords. This is what some people refer to Jesus as.
We didn't. No, we just say he's the king of kings, meaning whatever other empires out there, our king is above their king. So he's the king of all kings.
Bill Fence has made a great point. Words in English starting with al come from
Arabic.
The Moorish rule over Spain, such as alcohol and alchemy, etc. Algebra, Alf-Garnet, all these words in the English language.
Alkaline.
Alkaline. Algorithm. Al-Khawarizmi. And of course, quarantine that we've all just come through was from an Arabic word, arbayin, meaning 40, i.e. 40 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the day that Shias do also consider for Imam Hussein. So on the 40th day, Arba'in they call it. So really and truly, they mourn 2 months in the Arabic calendar. So as well as Muharram, they actually wait because Safwa after Muharram is Safwa, and that's where his 40th falls on Safwa. So that's where they still mourning within and wearing black to show that they're in a state of mourning till the 40th.
Yeah. And I mean, it's funny, religions, as much as having celebrations of events, will have commemorations of sad events, and Good Friday in the Christian calendar is kind of a sad day, really. Yeah, go on.
Going back to the conversation about when we were talking about Yaqub and being in a state of mourning, even when Rasulullah lost his uncle Hamza, and then same year he lost Khadija or something, and he called it the year of mourning. Why would he? Why would he allow that if mourning's not allowed? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is factual. You can go see when Hamza died. He was upset. He was like, "My backbone's died."
Yeah, I've got to go to a funeral at 9 a.m. But I'm not. The thing is, I'm not really a mourning person.
You don't know. I mean, it's difficult what to say to someone in that position.
Just a little joke. No, it was a joke, Mac. I'm not really a mourning person. That's mourning. M-O-U-R.
Yeah, I get you.
N-I-N-G.
You're not a night person.
I'm not really a mourning person. Yeah.
I'm nocturnal, unfortunately.
This is early for us. It's only, what is it, 9:15? This is early. Yeah. But for people watching now, let me just tip you off. We're going to try and go regularly on a Friday night at 10 p.m. I think 10 p.m. on a Friday night is a good time to do a live stream. You can get through to Mac. We might even get PK to pick up the phone. Triple T will be there, and we'll really have a sort of a party atmosphere on a Friday. Remember TFI Friday?
Yeah.
With no, it can't be the Antichrist because he's ginger. Chris, what was he called? Not Tarrant. Chris Evans. That's the one.
Chris Evans. I remember. Yeah.
I miss those days. That's back when you could get really high ratings on a TV show because there were.
Do you know what I used to miss?
Channels.
I used to miss the
Blind
top, middle,
Date.
or bottom. That too. But top, middle, or bottom. Top, middle, or bottom.
I don't know that one. Oh, really? I wasn't much of a. I remember.
You had to choose which one. It was a top, middle, or bottom screen, and then one of them was like you have to go through across, otherwise you'd lose. But it was you don't remember Michael Barrymore, sure?
I remember My Kind of People. I remember him doing sort of things in shopping centres, and then I remember him on Celebrity Big Brother with.
Do you remember Harry Anfield?
George
Ross
Galloway.
Abbott.
I remember that. Yeah. Do you remember all these things from the past? You sound like Peter Kay stand-up routine. But
I used to love them shows. I honestly grew up.
Michael Barrymore is a very tragic individual, I think, and I know what did or didn't happen in his swimming pool, but there's something very sad about him, and he has that behavior pattern of the addict who has to be the life and soul of the party, pleasing everyone, entertaining everyone, but then in private he's very sad, kind of like the sad clown. It's a character trait that we see in a lot of these really manic 1 minute, depressed the next entertainers. And I can think of another one that you mentioned.
Charlie Sheen.
Already. Possibly Charlie Sheen, but you mentioned another one earlier on.
Which one?
Who sadly killed himself, Robin Williams. Life and soul of the party, looks happy on the outside. Deep inside, he's actually very depressed.
Again, who's to know he killed himself? It all sounds a bit.
What's the alternative theory?
Has anyone looked into Stanley Kirkby? How he died? Why 6 days after or before his release, Eyes Wide Shut, exposing the elite? he dies. How is that possible? Like he dies in his sleep, like
I
a
haven't seen that
coincidence.
one. Hmm.
Yeah, Stanley Kirkby. Apparently, he did the
Who is
production for
Stanley Kubrick?
Kubrick. Sorry. Kubrick.
Okay, I didn't know that he killed himself.
He didn't
I
kill
didn't know
himself.
that.
It's like did Bruce Lee kill himself?
Has any celebrity ever committed suicide, in your opinion, Mac? Or
Not
are
like
we always
that.
tempted to look for the alternative? It must have happened.
No, they
at
would
some
get
point.
they would get one way or another they would get some form of attention from people because that like someone would like them. The other one that comes to mind was the guy in Transformers, and then he had a paper bag on his head as well. What was his name?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, Shia LaBeouf, whatever his name
Shia
is.
LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Is he not alive?
No, he's alive, but like
Okay.
I think he's had a bad run with the elite, and then therefore he had to do certain rituals in order for him to get back. That's how Hollywood works. It's
My
supposed to be
goodness.
not holy, but Holly. Do you remember Hollywood?
Hollywood. Yeah.
So it's Hollywood, not holy. So
And what is it about the age of 27 that so many young, famous people tragically lose their life?
you think it's 27?
Amy Winehouse died at 27. Jimi Hendrix. There's two. What more do you want? I heard that 27 was a common age for people, young, talented people, famous people to be killed. Does it have a meaning?
Like an OD. That sounds like they overdosed on.
I know, but why 27? Why not 26 or 28? Or is this just me looking
Number
for patterns?
9. 27 is
2 and 7 equals 9. There you go. 9. Turn it upside down. That's a 6.
6.
6.
But I've told you about the 9 and numerology.
Did you hear the? I don't think it was Boris Johnson. It was someone else talking about the new normal and the rule of 6. And he goes, "It's very easy to remember. 6 people in a group. 666." And they said it like that.
They always do that, and they always repeat it 3 times.
Yeah. What is it about that?
It's a trend. I don't know. They usually have these numerology numbers, and the funniest thing is that 9/11, when they occurred, is what's the emergency number for America?
911. There you go.
Coincidence or what?
Coincidence or not? Abdullah A is asking us, which subject are you two most knowledgeable on? Well, for Mac, it's Michael Barron. No, what are you most knowledgeable on?
I do. It doesn't matter whether it's Jewish, or the Old Testament, the New Testament, or the Quran, or whichever one. I mean, realistically, I like history and physics. That's the 2 main subjects I can.
So whether it's the Old Testament or the Quran, I like history or physics. And me, I'm more of a general knowledge guy. That's my specialist subject. Who would you phone? Who would be your phone a friend if you were on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oh, who would I pick as?
Yeah.
Well,
you don't have to say me. It's all right.
I mean, if I would have said Stephen Hawking's, like, but
of course, I mean, were he still with us, he would. But is he going to know, like, who was number 1 in the charts in 1993? Maybe he does. I don't know.
Well, that kind of information wouldn't serve him any good in the pursuit of what he was going like.
I know, but Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? The questions are often very
variable.
A guy won it without using any lifelines.
Do you remember the coughing thing? There was someone in the audience, and that was funny. That I couldn't believe.
They got rumbled.
So, going back to the conversation, what's your opinion, Joe Biden or Trump?
I'll tell you in a minute after I read out this from Give Peace a Chance. 26 is when a male reaches full maturity on average. Not me, mate. I was 14 years old. Don't know. Behind the bike shed. What? No, I think maturity is like 40. That's triple T. They say the brain continues to grow until you're 40 years old. And then you start losing it. And Abdullah is saying, ever thought of going on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Julian? Well, I've thought about it, but I think I wouldn't get through the fastest finger first bit. I've always thought watching that, I'll have a look at it. I'll see the first one and the second one, and then I'll take a gamble on the middle two and just go boom, because that would give you at least. Oh look, have you got the game?
I've actually got the game.
Oh, brilliant! We'll do a Who Wants to Be Millionaire night on here, and we'll.
I had to get.
Oh my God! You
Sorry.
Put it down a bit. You're deafening us. I'm sorry, people.
Sorry,
man.
Right. Sorry. People.
No, because it's coming through your phone. It's really loud.
Yeah, it's loud.
I'll tell you a funny story. I was sitting in the Iranian embassy one afternoon, trying to get
your visa.
to the. Well, I didn't need a visa because I've got a dual nationality that would allow me entry.
What,
but a friend of mine, that's right, British passport holder, was trying to get a visa. Turns out, and we couldn't get it in the end because he would need to go with a tour guide. But we were sitting in the Iranian embassy quietly. No one's talking to each other. Women are having to wear a scarf because you're on Iranian soil.
Behind Kensington. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that's exactly where it is.
Opposite the Israel embassy as well.
Keep your friends close.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You were in the embassy.
I'm sitting next to Jamal. That's you won't mind me telling you this. He's the chap who joined me in Ukraine and worked my corner when I got my nose broken in Germany. And we were bored out of our brains waiting as the hours go by, and he starts playing a game on his phone. Minutes before that, I said to him, you know, this place was there was a siege here in the 80s, and the police had to storm the place, and a bomb went off, and they blew up the terrorists. And oh, really? Wow. We're looking up there. You can see Khamenei's picture, all the different leaders. It's deadly quiet, and he just starts playing this game on his phone. He loads it, and this sound effect of an explosion goes off. I might turn that off before we get taken out by the SAS at the Iranian embassy in London. Those were the days. But sorry, no. I interrupted you. What were you saying?
No, we were just chatting usual. Someone was saying what kind of things are what knowledges we like. Well, we can talk about
general knowledge.
Quantum computing as well. That's something I like as well.
Quantum computing. I'm not even good at normal computing. I did ask Seb the other night, what is the quantum universe? And he said it's to do with quantity, as in amounts of things, and maybe there's more than one reality. AKO Overkill is saying we need 1 million people in London protesting. That would be 999,994, quick maths, more than you're allowed. On the protest at the weekend, it's a 6-person limit, unfortunately. So first come, first served. Everyone else will have to go home and protest from the privacy of their own home at a safe distance. Or how, if everyone was 2 meters apart, here's a maths question for you. How far apart would 1 million people be if they were all socially distanced 2 meters apart? Because the virus can't jump any further than that.
It would probably have a radius of a couple of miles. You're talking about probably a mile or two.
It would. I've heard that the entire population of the world could stand shoulder to shoulder on the Isle of Wight. But why would we want
I've
to?
heard that as well.
Orient Express must be true then. Orient Express is saying, Julian, I think your most knowledgeable subject is politics from the looks of your channel. Yeah, well, maybe that gives me some direction for my channel, because everyone keeps telling me to niche down, go niche, decide what your channel is about, and I really don't know.
You still haven't answered my question. Joe Biden or Trump?
That? Okay, Joe Biden or Trump. Are you asking me who I want to win or who I think will win?
Predictions.
Who do I think will win?
Exactly.
Okay.
And
all
obviously,
the polls,
based on your logic, explain your elaborate on why you think as well, please.
Okay. I don't know. Something is telling me Trump will win again. Okay. That I know the polls are saying otherwise. I think people that vote for Trump are ashamed to admit it. Rather like people that vote Tory in the UK, the polls for the Tories are always a lot lower than the actual reality. No one likes to admit that they want to vote for the nasty party, but some people are just inclined that way, or it makes sense. Same with Trump. Everyone is being told Orange Man bad, and it's very socially unacceptable to support the guy because he's a misogynist, he's a racist. But deep down, I believe people will not trust the opposition that has been put up against him. Bernie Sanders would have won it. Bernie Sanders would appeal to some of the voters in that poor, lower middle class and working class demographic that have rallied to support Trump. Bernie Sanders would have gained a few votes from them as well. But Joe Biden, it's like they've put up a soft target for Trump to defeat.
What, Biden?
So I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, comes a close second in the forthcoming election. That's my prediction. I could be wrong. It happened before.
Okay, there's also talks about Joe Rogan's talking about having a sit down with Biden and the president himself.
Joe Biden and Joe Rogan. Oh, yeah. Wow!
If you YouTube it, you'll see that he's talking and he's hoping it's going to happen, but he's kind of trying to entice the situation to occur. Like
that would be amazing, and Joe Rogan would be impartial, would he?
Yeah, I mean he and I think it would be a good idea because he could ask the right questions and he knows a bit or two, and the kind of guest that he brings on from obviously respective professors in their fields to actual actors and fighters and UFC fight everything. So he's even had do you know what the funniest one was when he had Elon Musk with him, and then he started smoking weed with Elon Musk, and Elon Musk must have said something about his company, and next day he had a backlash for saying that.
Oh no, really?
Yeah,
he let something slip.
Well, my goodness. He said something because he was in the midst of being high, so he
while intoxicated. What do Joe Rogan and Joe Biden have in common apart from the first name?
They're probably being funded by the same elite.
Do you think so? No, I meant something about them as a person and their background.
They're both. Well, I know he's in Dallas. He's from Boston, or he's from Dallas, Joe Rogan. But I'm not actually sure about Joe Biden.
Joe Rogan and Joe Biden are both of an Irish background.
Oh.
Apparently so, yeah.
Interesting. There's a lot of Americans that have an Irish background as well. 40
million apparently. I did a video about it recently. Make sure you catch up on it if you haven't.
I think I have.
Irish identity in American politics is very important. Yeah. And the Catholic vote and sanctity of life, all of that, pro-choice, pro-life, who knows? But Mac, we've nearly reached the magic hour mark. So what do you want to talk about next time? Where are we going with this next time? What direction? Now that we've established this link, and I'm so glad that you're able to come on here and do it, what would be hot topics in the pipeline for you?
I would like to discuss, say, maybe we could talk about AI and
could do
end of times, or even like you said, the Ishmael Isaac, the differences and from each point of view, whether it's from the biblical point of view or the Islamic point of view.
Ishmael means God listened.
Yeah, I mean,
Ishmael.
So can you understand what I mean by when I said not that Isaac is more important, but because it's with his beloved wife. You see what I mean? And because it's with his beloved wife, that makes that son a bit more special. Whereas Hajar was kind of their slave or their worker or whatever you want to call it. So even though the wife gave permission, it's still not with the wife. So he prefers to have a child with the wife. So in my opinion, from his perspective, that son would be, even though he's had a first son, but that son with Sarah would be more.
Mac, spoiler alert, save it for the next live stream. But we've got a couple of chats coming in. Bill Fence is saying the first 100 slaves in America were Irish. Were they? Were they really? Was that Oliver Cromwell? Were they slaves or were they indentured servants? They kind of seems to be a difference. But then sometimes the indentured servants got worked to death, whereas the slaves were kept alive. So who knows? Abdullah A is asking, did the first Irish settlers eat each other in America? I don't think so. And Triple T is arguing that the first slaves were Native Americans. Wow. It's been quite a show. Mac, I'm so glad that we managed to get this up and running. Everyone that's been watching this, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. The majority of people, I've been checking the statistics. Most of the views we get are from people that are not subscribed. Subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and then you'll know when something like this happens. And tune in on a Friday at 10 p.m. because we want to speak to you, not you.
Also, another topic just for future.
Also,
the fifth dimension. That's an interesting topic to get into. And astral projection, like your other friend that was talking about the other day.
Yeah,
that's a good topic to get into as well.
And any suggestions for topics in the comments? We're going to give the last minute over to suggestions and any other business. What are the topics that you want to talk about? Do you want us to keep it political? Someone in the chat thinks that all I know about is politics, but we can talk about anything. I want to go MMA again pretty soon and maybe break down what happened in the UFC. Got a friend with a channel, with a Instagram page called the British MMA Scene. Log on to that or follow it on Instagram, the British MMA Scene, because we will be doing a live stream with them at some point in the future, and you can ask all your MMA questions. Abdullah A is saying, I read it in a book by Howard Zinn that the early settlers became cannibals due to scarcity of food. Quite possibly. Yeah. Quite possibly.
But I mean, it takes a lot to eat someone else. I mean,
it does.
You got to be. I guess I've never been in that state of desperation, so I can't say.
Some Christians believe they are doing it every Sunday in the church. Bill Fence is saying, I like the astral projection idea. All right, we're going to do that. And if you can't project yourself here, just select yourself the button that says Lessons for Life on YouTube and hit subscribe. We're going to do it all again soon. This has been Lessons for Life.
Peace.
This was Mac. We were here and we're gone.
Peace.
Later.